Full exercise there, and we say to the crew, more power to your elbow. All right, let's shift our attention to health now. Welcome back from that exercise segment of the program. Good morning, Abuja. And on our health segment of the program this morning, we shall be bringing on board HYGIENNE, who is coming to talk to us on personal hygiene. Join me as I welcome him to the program. Good morning to you. Good to have you here.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
All right. Thank you. And happy Friday. Is there any word like that?
Well, you can say that. Well, it's good to be here. It's good to be alive today.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Of course, our topic is the best personal hygiene practices. Before we talk about that, what exactly is personal hygiene?
Well, personal hygiene are practices that we do to take care of ourselves, to protect ourselves from coming in contact with infections, because our environment is filled with bacteria that are able to cause infection once they get into our body. Besides that, our body also produces things waste products that we need to clean off from our system, because leaving it there may lead to other consequences. So personal hygiene are personal practices we take to clean ourselves, to protect ourselves from coming in contact with infections, and to stay healthy, both in body and in mind.
Both in body and in mind.
Yeah.
All right. So staying healthy, of course, cannot be overemphasized. This is very, very important. Yeah. Now, how does personal hygiene affect the overall well-being of an individual?
Usually, we come in contact with all kinds of infections, but we don't get to feel the symptoms until they overwhelm our immune system. Okay. So it's good if we even prevent it or reduce it to the barest minimum, so that we don't even come in contact with the infections and we don't overwork or overwhelm our immune system. So if you take part in personal hygiene, you're less likely to fall ill often. I mean, to save you the cost of going to the hospital. It makes you have a stronger body and overall well-being. Yeah.
Okay, can you maybe outline the effect or consequences of not taking good proper care of ourselves or environment and observing personal hygiene? Can we know the effect, the consequences of doing that if we don't do it right?
The consequences may range from particular aspect of the body we refuse to take care of. Because, for instance, if you refuse to take care of your mouth oral hygiene, you predispose yourself to infections that can affect your gum or your teeth or any other part of the mouth. If you refuse to take care of your body, you are likely to have body odor, which has social effect, because people may not want to stay around you, may not be able to sustain relationships. If you don't take care of your genital hygiene, for instance, you may predispose yourself to infections like tinea in your genital area, and for women, you may have candidiasis, as the case may be. So it's very important that we take good care of our body to prevent such infections and stay healthy and reduce the frequency of visit to the hospital.
All right. Can you help us spell out the element? Of course, you have mentioned that when we don't take care of our mouth, of course, if the hygiene is not, if the mouth is not properly given attention to, it might result to, gum problems, teeth problems, and the rest of them. Can you also spell out some of the elements that are associated with not taking care of our personal hygiene?
We can divide personal hygiene basically into three. Okay. We have the oral hygiene, and then the body hygiene, the skin entirely, and then the genital area, and then we can be specific about women in particular. Due to their peculiarities at certain periods of the time, they're supposed to be more cautious about their hygiene. When you talk about oral hygiene, for instance, what you want to do is to deprive the bacteria that are in your mouth of food and other particles that they may act on to create what leads to mouth odor and other mouth infections. So if you leave those food particles there, because whenever you eat, some of them get stuck in your teeth and the likes, if you leave them there, you're throwing a party to the bacteria in your mouth, And you allow them to produce these chemical substances that are inimical to your health, that could lead to so many mouth infections. Ironically, the mouth is home to more bacteria than a toilet seat. That's how diverse the bacteria in the mouth. So you need proper hygiene, proper mouth brushing, and many people don't know how to brush properly. They think it's all about having toothpaste in your brush and then you go. No, there are ways to do it properly. Okay. You have to go vertically and horizontally. So you both the surface and the crevices inside your teeth, you get to them. Your tongue also, the tongue is like a trap for bacteria. So you do it properly and then twice a day, not just once. I know how people are lazy about the last part of it.
So the twice a day is in the morning and
yeah,
in the
yes,
evening?
And the evening.
Before retiring
to bed. It should be the last thing you do after eating. So you don't sleep leaving food particles in your mouth. It's a long time you will sleep, so you give enough time for those bacteria in the mouth to act on the food and then produce substances that are bad for you. And that's why you wake up in the morning with a very bad breath. Now, for the skin of the body, there are 2 or 3 things that are culprits to what you have in the body that produce body odor. You have the sweat from the sweat glands, and you have the oils that are produced. These oils are produced when we mature. That's why you don't find body odor among children. But once you get to puberty, you begin to produce this oil. Now, in combination, the sweat and the oil, they are acted upon by the bacteria on our skin. So you need to constantly clear away these oils and the sweat from your body. Otherwise, it can lead to body odor.
So it also has to be frequent taking of bath?
Yes, you should be frequent. And also, it will depend on your level of activity. For instance, if you engage in exercise that makes you sweat a lot, it's advisable that after it, you go and take a bath. So you wash that off and keep your body at least as dry as you can. So you deprive those bacteria of what they need to produce what can lead to body odor on the skin.
So how many times are we supposed to take our bath as to prevent skin odor?
Well, at least you should take a bath once a day. But if you engage in, let's say if you go to work, you come back in the evening, you should take another bath to wash off whatever you've accumulated in the day. And then women, for instance, during that period, they may have to bath more often to take care of whatever they produce during their menstrual period.
For men that like repeating boxers, as in using one boxers for like 3-4 days.
Yes, I was coming to them. Now, when we talk about hygiene of the skin, keeping the skin dry is it's very important to maintaining the hygiene of the skin, especially areas that are prone to being damp, like the armpits and the genital area. There are hairs growing on these areas. You have to be extra careful about them. Otherwise, you're prone to infection, especially fungal infection. They love such a damp environment. Now, if you leave your boxers on for long, what's happening is that your boxer will trap sweat and oil produced from your head glands and sweat glands, as the case may be. Now, if you don't change them, you are given consistent supply of food source to the bacteria or fungi in this area. So you're prone to what we call tinea cruris for men. It's an itchy, smelly infection that you see. You see men in public, they keep itching their genitals, usually because they leave their underwear or undergarments for long. You don't even have to wait till it smells, because that's what some young guys do. They take the undergarment, they smell. If it's not, there's no repugnant odor. It's a very bad practice. Okay. At least one a day, and not even one a day. If you wear one and you go for running or something, and you just realize that you're soaked in sweat, it's advisable you don't continue with that. You go and change it. I mean, these things are not that expensive. You should have lots of them to use.
The more the merrier. And is it advisable also to shave the hairs on your genital?
Yeah, but it's medically, you shouldn't completely shave, but don't leave it to overgrow. Trim is the better word for it. You trim it, don't allow it to overgrow. Why complete shaving is not usually advisable is you predispose your skin to irritation during shaving. So you may end up with maybe your skin is caught, or maybe you have a reaction to whatever you're using to shave yourself. So it's better to not completely shave if you're using the shaving stick and all of those other methods. But don't let it overgrow. All
right. So we have touched the mouth. We have touched the genital areas and the rest. I want you to touch a little bit on ear. How do we clean our ear? Because it's also part of personal
for the ears, the most common people do is they use the cotton bud. They put it in, but it's not good. one, the ears are self-cleansing.
Okay.
So you're not supposed to, if you put something in, it's likely going to push the whatever is stuck in your ear further in.
Okay.
And if you try harder to reach it, you may end up causing injury to your ears.
Okay.
So the ears are self-cleansing. Ideally, you should go to the hospital if you think you really need
to clean
your ears, but to using a cotton bud is not advised.
So taking bath now, is it good to put like a sponge to clean the outer ear? And
Yeah, if it's the outer
ear?
region, that's good. The back, behind the ears that are usually hard to reach or easily ignored, yes, you clean the outer part of the ears.
Okay.
But I was referring to the inner part of the ears.
All right. You know, of course, this topic is elaborate.
Yeah,
I could have wished to continue asking you about hair, how to maintain our hairs and our socks, you know, our footwears and the rest. But that will be for another episode of this program. Thank you very much, Audu Haruna Jimo, for enlightening us on personal hygiene, how we should take care of our bodies, you know, to ensure good health. Thank you
very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been speaking with Audu Haruna Jimo, also known as Abu Imran, and the topic for discussion has been on the best personal hygiene practices. He has enumerated them and, of course, told us what to do to prevent germs being, you know, catching up with us in the course of our daily life or moving with our activities. The program is still Good Morning Abuja. Stay tuned.